Hall of Famer and godfather of ground and pound, Mark Coleman says he is re-energized and has not felt this good in forever. So will it be enough to take out Stephan Bonnar? One half of what many consider to be the greatest UFC fight of all time with Boris Griffin, Stephan Bonnar will always hold a place in the hearts of fans. But that's not enough for the Las Vegan, who is not only chasing after a world title, but is also looking to add the name of Hall of Famer Mark Coleman to his list of victims.
Fighting in UFC 100, fighting a legend, a Hall of Famer, those are all great, but the bottom line is I gotta win. That's all that matters.
The godfather of ground and pound, former UFC heavyweight champion Mark Coleman may have been one of the pioneers of the sport back in the 90s, but he's also more than relevant in today's game, as evidenced by his spirited effort against Mauricio Shogun Rua back in January. Tonight, he plans on letting Stephan Bonnar know that there's still a lot of power left in the hammer.
This is the biggest fight of my life by far. I'm capable of doing it. I hit very hard. I land a couple blows, he's gonna go down, and I will finish him off.
Coming up next, Stephan, the American Psycho Bonnar, faces Mark, the Hammer Coleman.
The American Psycho, Stephan Bonnar. Stephan Bonnar, of course, coming off of the disappointing loss to Jon Jones. Really wants to get back on track tonight. And in facing the legend, the godfather of ground and pound, Mark Coleman, this is an excellent opportunity for a big win for Bonnar.
And you know, Joe, Stephan Bonnar talked about the fact that when he was first breaking into the sport, he used to watch Mark Coleman, who is 12 years his elder. Has a ton of respect for the Hammer. Knows that the Hammer is coming in the best shape he's been in a long time. And ironically, Bonnar, after the show, the Ultimate Fighter, trained at Extreme Couture for a while, and that's where Coleman has spent the last 2 months, leaving Columbus and coming here to Las Vegas.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, they could have easily become training partners when they were there before they signed for this fight. Stephan Bonnar looks in great shape. We saw him at the weigh-ins. He looks absolutely shredded. He is a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. He's got great stand-up. He's got a tremendous amount of experience in the octagon, but not as much experience as Mark the Hammer Coleman.
One note that should be talked about with Stephan Bonnar is the fact that he was out 15 months after reconstructive knee surgery prior to the Jon Jones fight. So perhaps he was not yet 100% physically and maybe there so mentally as he took on the young and talented 21-year-old, but he definitely feels like he's back and ready to do battle here tonight against Coleman.
That's a very good point, Mike. You know, coming back from reconstructive knee surgery, we saw that with Mauricio Shogun Rua. Took him a long time to get really back into full condition. We've even seen that from Mark Coleman early in his career. After he damaged his ACL and had it repaired, it took him a while before he got back into shape.
The American Psycho from the Ultimate Fighter's original cast, Stephan Bonnar. He defines cage fighter, the godfather of ground and pound, UFC Hall of Famer, national champion from The Ohio State University, and one of the most popular figures ever to compete in mixed martial arts, his fallen Marine friend Ray Mendoza on the front of his t-shirt. We welcome once again, Mark, the Hammer Coleman.
And when we call him the godfather of ground and pound, people don't really understand. If you're not if you don't know the original history of the UFC, the old school UFC, this guy was responsible literally for changing the game. Before Mark Coleman, it was all Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters and submission. He was the first American wrestler to use that wrestling to get on top of guys and smash them. He was the guy that invented, literally put ground and pound on the map and changed everyone's game back then. All these guys back in the day were putting on weight, bulking up, doing heavy lifting, working on their wrestling because they knew they had to contend with the big, powerful wrestlers like Mark Coleman.
Light heavyweight again tonight. It was his first UFC fight in over 10 years when in Dublin he lost to Shogun, going nearly the distance in the fight of the night. His first time ever competing at 205 was the fight in Dublin. Now, as I mentioned before, he left Columbus, Ohio in the Hammer House. It's been over 70 days since he's seen his daughters. He said, and it was really cool to hear him admit it, he never had the guts to pull the trigger before, Joe, to leave what was that comfortable home camp back at the Hammer House in Columbus. But he's been pushed, he's been beaten on, and he has a new motivation and a new eye of the tiger after spending 60 days out here with Sean Tompkins and the team at Extreme Couture.
I think that's very important, and if he wants to continue his career, he's really got to keep doing stuff like that. He's capable of taking these guys down for sure. We saw that in the Shogun fight. He's capable of, I mean, when he was on top of Shogun, he was close to stopping him at one point in time. If he had more endurance, who knows what would have happened. If he had a better camp going into that fight, he could have gotten the W.
The Hammer, Mark Coleman. Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight fight, 44-year-old Mark Coleman against 32-year-old Stephan Bonnar. Bonnar 3 inches taller and will have a 5-inch reach advantage. With the official introductions, the veteran voice, Bruce Bumper.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 14 wins with 5 losses. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, the American Psycho, Stephan Bonnar! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler holding a professional record of 15 wins with 9 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Columbus, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, he is the former UFC heavyweight champion, the UFC Hall of Fame Octagon Warrior, Mark the Hammer Coleman! And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Herb Dean.
Herb Dean is our referee. Light heavyweight matchup. Logan Ariani here tonight watching the Hall of Famer take on the American Psycho. Bonnar comes out southpaw.
And Bonnar comes out quickly.
Stephan Bonnar, Forrest Griffin, that legendary fight. One of the very main reasons, Joe, why we're here tonight with all this enthusiasm and fanfare. Old school warrior, former UFC champion, Mark Coleman.
And one important thing, Mike, Stephan Bonnar is a very underrated striker. And he's also a black belt in Taekwondo, and what he's doing here right now, he's got this big, wide Lyoto Machida style stance that we haven't seen from him in a while, and he's on his back.
You know, I was just gonna say, Joe, that type of stance, not standing right in front of your opponent, could have prevented a takedown, but Coleman got one leg, spun around, got the under, and he is on top position.
And Stephan Bonnar is working for an omoplata. He's got it locked up. Mark Coleman could be in a bit of trouble here.
Bonnar trained for years with the late, great Carlson Gracie in Chicago.
And you see what Stephan Bonnar's toes here is he's actually kind of holding onto the fence. He's using his toes to grip the fence here. Now he's not. See how he's doing that? I mean, that's kind of holding the fence, which is kind of illegal.
Mark Coleman is kind of trying to pull his foot off the fence.
I mean, I don't know why Herb Dean isn't calling him on that. That's just like grabbing it with your fingers. Coleman's shoulder is in trouble here, and he might turn this into a figure 4 toe hold if he can grab a hold of it. This is how Frank Mir submitted Tank Abbott. Same position.
Coleman trying to spin out of trouble.
Coleman's trying to roll over, but in doing so, he's exposing his leg. That arm is still trapped. Bonner's letting go of the leg.
He's out.
He's letting go of the arm, rather.
Well, Joe,
okay,
the
now
big thing
Coleman's
was
on
Coleman
top.
pounded the rib for a second.
Well, Coleman is a very strong guy, and having Coleman on top of you is not a good thing. Very strong, excellent control, great base, and especially in this north-south position.
You know, you talk about Frank Mir. Mark Coleman, in preparation for this fight, spent some time training with Frank Mir here in Las Vegas. And very motivated is Coleman that he wasn't on the main card tonight. And the chance of Coleman begin here in Las Vegas.
I mean, for the old school guys, I mean, Mark Coleman was the man back in the day. I mean, you have to realize this guy literally redefined how people approach this sport.
The first UFC heavyweight champion.
He's got to be very careful here, though, because Stephan Bonnar is working towards a crucifix position. He's got that arm trapped. He's landing some nice elbows here, and Coleman is not defending them.
Under 2 minutes remains in round 1.
Coleman can't keep eating these elbows.
Bonnar doing a great job here with control, Joe.
Yeah, he's controlling the right arm of Coleman, and he's controlling the left.
And continues to throw the elbows. And Coleman is cut. Right around the right eye.
Coleman driving, trying to pull that leg out. Yeah, it's a small cut. It's tough to see here.
Just over a minute remains in round 1.
And Coleman again pulling that leg out, trying to turn Bonnar over, but Bonnar doing a good job of preventing that by that control of Coleman's right arm.
This is a big fight for Stephan Bonnar as well. He lost to Forrest Griffin at UFC 62, put together a couple of victories, then, as I mentioned, had that reconstructive knee surgery prior to being defeated by young John Jones.
Coleman again won't let go of those legs. He's driving forward, trying to get Stephan Bonnar on his back, but Bonnar is just using excellent control here, doing a good job of triangling the left arm of Coleman and doing also a good job of controlling that right arm and those elbows from the top.
You know, Joe, you often wonder how just that small little split decision, just one judge's mind, changed the course of the fighting life of Stephan Bonnar and Forrest Griffin. Bonnar
going for a Kimura.
Did a great job of controlling the hammer in round 1, and you can see the disappointment on Mark Coleman's face.
And here you see the elbows from the top. This is what did the damage here, and Mark really just didn't defend them, nor could he.
Be patient with him. He's going to go with that left foot forward or that right foot forward stance. He's going to look to blast that kick high. Let's get a little water in you. Anytime he gets those positions on you, be patient with him and just think ahead of him. It's
Sean
easy.
Tompkins.
You get ahead of him, square up, pull out. You did a great job. You're smart. You got the takedown. You controlled him.
You kill him with the crucifix. Just you have to circle for the fence. The fence don't let him sprawl. The fence don't let him sprawl. You see when they put the palm hand on the ground, he's not going to take you down. Okay?
3 deep breaths.
The American Psycho, Stephan Bonnar. Former training partner of Andrei Arlovsky during their time in Chicago. Bonnar and Coleman set for round 2. And quickly coming out again is Bonnar, this time traditional stance, Joe. He came out southpaw at the beginning of the fight.
I'm surprised that Stephan Bonnar isn't throwing any leg kicks. I think that's probably because he's worried about getting taken down, but that's one thing that Mark Coleman has shown a little bit of a weakness in, that area.
Coleman.
Oh, good left hand. Good left hand by Bonnar.
Yeah, Coleman got rocked a moment ago, and now he's looking to take this fight down.
He just ducked down right there for that takedown, which is a little uncharacteristic of him.
Well, we saw in that Shogun fight that even though he was extremely gassed, Coleman hung in there and showed great heart.
He made a mistake. Threw that spinning back fist. Mark Coleman's got a hold of him.
And Bonnar escapes for a moment.
But Coleman's on top of him, Mike.
Bonnar got a little fancy there, went for the spinning kick.
Bonner's busted up now.
And now Coleman is punishing. Mark the Hammer Coleman has opened up Stephan Bonnar.
And let me tell you something, Mark Coleman on top. This brings back memories for him, I'm sure.
And again with the short elbow.
He loves this position. On top, dropping elbows.
The Hall of Famer. All it took was one
Nice
mistake.
hammer fist by Coleman.
Coleman continuing to pound away from the Hammer House.
And good shots from the bottom by Bonnar.
Bonnar now with
nice elbows from the bottom.
3 minutes remains in round 2. Bonnar staying active from his back.
Those were good short elbows from the bottom by Stephan Bonnar. And he is a bloody mess.
So big, so powerful. Mark Coleman said he's felt better than he has in about a decade.
Bonnar looking for an omoplata again. He's gonna push that foot through. He's trying it again. His left leg is being controlled right now by Coleman, though. It's blocked. If he can get that leg out and turn his body to the side, he's let it go. Nice elbows from the bottom. Push off elbows by Bonnar.
Well, Bonnar has spent time in the past training with both Duke Rufus and Mark Delagrati.
Bonnar looking to scramble to his feet, but Coleman staying on top of him.
And that's a big move that we've seen from Kenny Florian a ton, Joe, is pushing off and throwing those elbows from the bottom. Coleman looking to impose his will on the American Psycho. Under 2 minutes remains in round 2.
Bonnar looking to sit out, but Coleman's got a hold of his legs. It's going to be real difficult for him to pull this off, an experienced wrestler like Coleman. He's looking to try to sit out and hit a switch. He's going to roll over to that omoplata again. Very slippery here.
Coleman, the 2000 open weight Grand Prix champion in Pride.
He's got to get that left leg free to lock it up in the triangle position on the omoplata. He's got that. And he's going to try to, but Coleman's on top of him now. Coleman's free.
National champion at Ohio State. And the first ever UFC heavyweight champion. The Hall of Famer looks up at the clock. 105 remains in round 2.
Now right here, I guarantee you Coleman wishes he was having some pride rules so he could drop some knees from the north-south position. He's on top on the back of Stephan Bonnar.
Coleman's so big and powerful.
More elbows from Coleman.
The godfather of ground and pound.
Bonnar using the jailbreak to get that foot in there.
The original Ultimate Fighter, the original cage fighter.
Coleman's got to be careful of that left arm. Bonnar looking to control that left arm. He may be looking for an arm bar.
Bonnar continuing to work from the bottom. Bonnar's such an integral part of the history that we are celebrating tonight here at UFC 100. 20 seconds remains in round 2.
Bonnar keeps rolling for the armbar, and what I suspect he's going to try to do is try to roll for the armbar on one side and then a triangle on the other.
Joe, 10 seconds left in the second round.
Man, Mark Coleman is landing some good shots here.
We head to the third and final round.
Great second round for the Hammer.
No, go for spinning. Sit down. No use spinning feet. It's the kick, okay? No use the kick. You got him with the punch. Punch him.
At the beginning of the round. Move, move, move. You hurt him a couple times that round. So be disciplined. Move on him for a while.
Keep.
And start setting him up again, okay? Listen?
Yeah.
And here we see the ground and pound that caused the cut on Stephan Bonnar. Again, this is the man that invented ground and pound. Big gash on the forehead and a big
Great job.
look at the lump on the
Stay with
forehead
us
of
now.
Mark Coleman.
Mark, you're 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes away from being a champion.
Adam DeSabato,
This is your fight.
Phil
You're in great
Baroni,
shape.
Sean
Stay on him.
Tompkins, all in the corner of Coleman.
Coleman looks good. He does not look tired. You know, this is a big thing for him. Having come to Vegas, having taken the time away from his family, training hard, away from home, out of his comfort zone, and it's paying off for him right now. It's really paying off for him.
And as the Hammer goes into battle here in the third and final round, right behind me I see Hoist Gracie here in attendance tonight.
Stephan Bonnar had some good results early in that round with striking before he was taken down.
Bonnar got caught a little bit with that uppercut. Bonnar switching stances again, Joe.
But Coleman is, you know, he's not the prettiest striker in the world, but let me tell you something, he gets one of those meat hooks on you, you're in big trouble. He's a very powerful guy.
He's got to be careful, though. Mark Coleman does when those hands fall, as they did right there. I mean, I still have visions of the Pete Williams kick on Mark Coleman. Good sprawl by Bonnar.
Coleman gets a hold of him. He's got a single.
And Joe, you've got to give round one to Bonnar and
Yes.
round two to Coleman.
Yes.
So this is a close fight as well.
Yes, very close fight. But right now, Coleman working hard for the takedown. As long as he's got a hold of Bonnar, Bonner's is in a little bit of trouble. Coleman's so strong and such an experienced wrestler. Good knee to the body there by Stephan Bonnar. Working very hard to avoid the takedown. He's got to be careful of the guillotine here. Bonner's got his arm connected. Coleman has got to be careful here.
44 years old. He'll be 45 in December. Looking for the single. Pushing forward, and he's got the takedown.
He gets him. He's got him down. He's got him pressed up against the cage.
His conditioning seems to be way better than we saw in the
Way
Shogun
better.
fight.
If he was in this kind of shape, he probably would have stopped Shogun in that first fight.
He almost did, and he was gassed within the first 2 minutes.
He's on top now. In the half guard. Coleman's just got such good pressure from the top. It's very hard to shake off. And there he's dropping these elbows.
Inducted in his hometown of Columbus in March of 2008 into the Hall of Fame. Chuck Liddell and our late friend Charles Mask Lewis inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend of UFC 100. The Hammer, the 5th inductee into the UFC Hall of Fame, and looking for his 7th UFC win here tonight. Final 2.5 minutes of the third and final round.
Bonnar struggling for the sweep. He's looking to grab a hold of Coleman's leg, but he's unable to do anything.
Mark Coleman made his UFC debut, Joe, in 1996, July 12th, 1996.
And let me tell you something, Mike. If he can keep this going for another 2 minutes, he's going to win this fight.
1 day shy of 13 years ago, Coleman first entered the octagon and won the UFC 10 tournament, winning in the final match against Don Fry.
And he looks in tremendous shape, Mike. He's not having a hard time here at all. He's not breathing heavy. Taking some kicks here by Bonnar. Bonnar looking for some axe kicks from the bottom. But Coleman defending.
Coleman waiting to pounce down again and close the gap.
He's in the full guard here of Stephan Bonnar.
I mean, that is a big,
Bonnar
heavy,
throwing
strong
up a triangle
dude on top of Stephan Bonnar, Joe.
Yeah, Bonnar here is looking for a triangle. He's got to get that left leg higher and across the shoulder. Back to full guard.
1 minute remains in the
Good
fight.
shots to the ribs by Coleman. Just keeping Bonnar down and on his back, and now he's got him pressed up against the cage again.
70 days away from his daughters Mackenzie and Morgan. Bonnar trying to wall walk.
He's on the back of Stephan Bonnar, but he's got to be careful that Bonnar doesn't turn it and wind up on top of him and his guard.
Coleman looking to secure
Coleman's
the
got to be
victory.
very careful. He's got to keep that over-under grip that he's got here, but he's got to be careful that Bonnar doesn't turn into him and wind up on top. He's basically, he's on top right now. It's just his arm is the only thing that's keeping him in position. And notice how Bonnar is manipulating his legs. He's trying to better the position, but only 10 seconds to go. Coleman staying on that back.
Mark Coleman.
I got Coleman winning this fight.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Mark the Hammer Coleman and Stephan Bonnar go the distance. That looks like the vision we saw after the Ultimate Fighter. Look how excited Phil Peroni is for his good friend Mark Coleman.
Wow. Outstanding.
Peroni's in tears. And what a great vision, the smile on the face of the UFC Hall of Famer.
Mackenzie Morgan, I did this for you. Daddy's coming home. I love you so much. Daddy's coming home, Mackenzie Morgan. You're my life, baby. Thank you. Shut up, man.
And here is the beginning, the second round. This is where Mark Coleman begins his assault. Dropped some big bombs on Stephan Bonnar, big elbows from ground and pound from the top, cut Stephan Bonnar, and was just able to control the fight from the top position. Stephan Bonnar wasn't able to shake him off and wasn't really able to do anything to him once Coleman got him down.
For Mackenzie, for Morgan, for UFC history. Coleman and Bonnar go the distance. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 29-28, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Mark the Hammer Coleman!